Welcome in, fans of all teams. My setup has changed a little bit. It's been a big couple of days, couple of weeks. I've had finals this week. I literally just finished my last final like 30 minutes ago, and first thing you got to do, I also technically just graduated then because I am not actually going to graduation, so I just finished college here at LSU. First thing I'm doing, pumping out YouTube videos for you guys. It was a busy week. We got the schedule release tonight. I'm filming this on Thursday. Definitely going to make a video about the schedule release for the Chargers specifically. Probably have that out tomorrow. I might upload this tonight or tomorrow. But today I'm just going to be going over my grades for each first round draft pick for every single NFL team. And just a reminder to everybody watching this video, my goal is 1,000 subscribers by next year's draft, because all I want to do is go live throughout the year, but especially for the draft. So if you are not yet subscribed, which mass majority of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, subscribe, like the video, comment. If you guys can definitely go back. I have liked or responded to every single comment I've ever gotten, obviously, because my channel's not that big right now, but growing way faster than I thought it would, honestly. So that is exciting. Starting off with the Jacksonville Jaguars at pick number 1, Trayvon Walker. I gave this pick a C-. This Trayvon Walker, in terms of ceiling, has one of the highest ceilings of any player in the NFL. I can pretty confidently say. But it's also, once you get into that tier of elite athlete, it's like you can't actually go that much higher, if that makes sense. But the Jaguars, basically, you guys have probably heard this a million times, they bet on toolsy traits and testing over production. Trayvon Walker was not productive at Georgia. Yes, their scheme wasn't necessarily conducive to looking like a great one-on-one pass rusher. There was just a lot of weird alignments, stunts, and other guys on that D-line who really, what's his name? Carter, Javon Carter, their best defensive player, who's wasn't even in the draft this year. He's in next year's draft. So, like, yes, there are reasons for why Trayvon Walker didn't look like an Aiden Hutchinson last year, but I would rather just take Aiden Hutchinson. You know that he can be very, very productive, a very good pass rusher, good against the run, as well as Aiden Hutchinson is also a very freaky athlete. So the Jags just, I think they bought into the hype, got too overconfident in their own evaluation, and they didn't go into the draft or into the combine with enough, like, with their board solidified enough. They let the combine shift their board way too much, way more than it should have, because the gap between pick number 1 and pick number 2, Aiden Hutchinson, who I had at number 1, well ahead of Trayvon Walker. Like, that gap should have been bigger, to the point of Trayvon Walker, no matter how good he tested, shouldn't have been able to rise that high. For pick number 2, though, Detroit Lions, I have to give an A+. I mean, they got the best player in the draft. Pretty objectively, consensus, best player in the draft from a local kid as well, raised in Michigan, went to Michigan, Ann Arbor, and he gets to stay home. He's high character, high effort, great leader, as well as uber productive and uber athletic. Enough said. Great pick for the Lions. And for me, Pick number 3, Houston Texans, Derek Stingley. I also gave this an A+. The Houston Texans are rebuilding, need guys literally everywhere, and I don't hate the idea of rebuilding from the trenches, but in my opinion, Stingley is, I'm not going to say generational talent because we just had Jalen Ramsey not that long ago, but I would put Derek Stingley's potential above a lot of the corners that have been taken over the last couple of years in terms of athleticism, in terms of ball production, in terms of ball skills, in terms of pedigree of where he played, the receivers that you got to see him go against, and his breakout age of being truly, truly the most dominant defensive player, most dominant corner for sure. I would have to think of who else was dominating 2019. But I have to give this an A+. Houston Texans just got possibly the best player in the draft. Not the most sure thing. Yes, some injury concerns, but I mean, this dude could be an island corner sooner. He will be an island corner sooner rather than later. Lovie Smith actually already said that. I think he already told Stingley that he will be following the best receiver on the other team every single game, which is what I am so excited to watch. And if anything, I don't know if an offensive lineman would get me to watch Houston Texans games, but Derek Stingley might be enough alone to get me to watch some Houston Texans games. Pick number 4, Sauce Gardner. I gave this an A. I am giving out a lot of high grades, really through the first 10 picks, other than pick number 1, because a lot of these were just truly very good picks. They didn't mess anything up really. Jets at number 4, Sauce Gardner. They did sign DJ Reed, I think, and they have one other cat from whose name is escaping me, but he wasn't bad last year. He was either drafted last year or 2 years ago. But Sauce Gardner, I mean, him and Robert Saleh in Robert Saleh's defense, just that, if you guys haven't seen the video of how excited Saleh was to actually get Sauce at 4, valuable position, great player, great production, great fit as well. I mean, it's hard to not go A here. Yes, they still have a need at edge, but I mean, I'm not going to doubt the process. They got Sauce, who is one of the very few blue chip prospects. I don't remember how many I had, but one of less than 5 blue chip prospects in this class. At pick number 5, Kayvon Thibodeau. I gave this an A+. Giants, I mean, only talk was of them trading back, not up, but they stuck there. They got, I don't even think Thibodeau is a boom or bust blue chip guy. Blue chip, I would put him on the border possibly, but I don't think he's boom or bust. He's going to come in. This dude has one of the best steps I've ever seen from an edge player in my life. It's ridiculous. Who was I watching where it might have been, I don't remember who I was watching. Was it Salyer's highlights? I was watching somebody's tape and they were playing against Oregon and I was trying to watch the tackle, but it was like, dude, Thibodeau gets off the ball at a just freaky rate. And I mean, obviously, huge need for the Giants. Giants need a lot of help right now. Honestly, his personality should fit pretty well in New York as well, so that will never hurt. But Kayvon Thibodeau, pick number 5, A+. Great pick. Number 6, Ike Ekwonu. I mean, I gave this an A, which is obviously a very good grade. Um, Not an A plus. They did get the consensus number one overall offensive lineman. Um, him, Evan Neal, and Charles Cross were practically interchangeable, but they didn't trade back, which who knows if their phone was ringing or not. I would have taken almost anything to move back just because the Panthers need it, but they stuck there. They got the consensus number one overall offensive lineman, which they desperately need. Um, I mean, that's an A pick for sure. And then pick number 7, I also gave an A. The Giants got a very good haul with Thibodeau and Evan Neal. Both very, Neal a little bit more so. Incredibly freaky athletes, but both have definitely some things that they can still work on, but amazing building blocks for the trenches. The Giants need to upgrade a good amount of positions. Obviously, they also just let go of James Bradbury. He has not been signed as of me recording this video, but they're starting in the trenches. They now have Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, which is a scary, scary SEC duo. So let's see what Daniel Jones can do this year. Pick number 8, I gave this an A minus. A lot of guys really like the fit of Drake London in Atlanta. And I know the whole Arthur Smith and his scheme, but I just really thought that a guy like Jameson Williams, a guy like Garrett Wilson would have been a much better fit alongside Kyle Pitts because, yes, Kyle Pitts is a tight end, but you don't want Kyle Pitts in line blocking every play. You're going to have Kyle Pitts in the slot, lined up like as a tight end, but or split out wide. And yes, it can never hurt to have two dominant big men, but they do win in similar ways. And I just think that they could have picked a slightly more complimentary player. That being said, Drake London was my wide receiver 1, so still giving them an A minus because they did get the wide receiver 1 in this draft, and it was a huge need for them. Pick number 9, Charles Cross, A plus. Massive need at offensive tackle. They sat at 9 and still got one of the big 3 offensive tackles. Yes, Pete Carroll wants to run the ball a lot, and Charles Cross is the least explosive / refined in run blocking, more of a pure pass blocker, but Pete Carroll might retire soon. Charles Cross can lock up that left tackle spot for hopefully a decade if he's, capable of making that jump, but I think he is. Truly, yeah, right here. Technical marvel. I don't know about technical marvel, but he is very technical. Great player. They didn't trade up. They didn't. Seahawks, this pick. Seahawks traditionally haven't been that great at drafting other than that one draft like 12 years ago or something when they hit on Bobby Wagner, Richard Sherman, Russell Wilson all in like one draft or something. But yeah, honestly, A plus. They didn't trade up, didn't draft a edge that we have barely heard of at 10. Pick number 9. Pick number 10, Garrett Wilson. I gave this an A. Pretty good fit in the Jets offense. I think Garrett Wilson does have wide receiver 1 upside, but I guess, yeah, an A, because they have Corey Davis, they have Elijah Moore, and I guess Garrett Wilson is a pretty good complement to those guys and just does fill out this receiving core very well. Neither one of those guys or necessarily a wide receiver 1. This does allow Corey Davis to be a full-time wide receiver 2 and Elijah Moore to play primarily in the slot. I think he can still play on the outside, but a borderline A+, honestly. In hindsight, this is a little bit better of a fit than I was thinking about. Once again, let's see what Zach Wilson can do. Pick number 11. Here we go. So I am also incorporating trades into the grade. So I gave this a D+ because Saints gave up a good bit to move up to pick 11, but they also got manhandled in the trade already to get pick 16 and pick 19. That in the first place was a horrible trade. Not a great trade to trade up to 11. And on top of that, they picked Chris Olave, I guess, with how the board fell, most likely wouldn't have been there at pick 16. But they got overconfident. Yes, Chris Olave is a good fit with New Orleans and what they need and with Jameis, but they just gave up so much draft capital for one Chris Olave. The Saints are, they always figure out the cap, but they gave up too much, way too much, in my opinion, to go up and get Chris Olave, the consensus wide receiver 4, I guess. But this wasn't an incredible wide receiver draft, so they got wide receiver 4 at pick 11. That's wide receivers went pretty quick, but I just have to give this a D+ for how much they gave up. Pick number 12, I give this a B. I do love Jameson Williams. Don't get me wrong. I want Jameson Williams so bad for the Chargers at pick 17. But they did have to move up from pick 32 all the way up to pick 12. That being said, they didn't give up that much for a rebuilding team. As a rule, though, I am still very against trading up, especially that far for a non-quarterback. I love Jameson Williams, don't get me wrong, but the Lions aren't going to be good this year. They're not going to the playoffs. Hopefully that doesn't get actually nobody's going to clip me and prove me wrong, but Lions are not going to the playoffs. I don't know why they're trading up. He's a great player, which saves the B, and they didn't give up everything, but they still gave up a good bit for a rebuilding team, so that drops it down to a B. Pick 13, I gave a B+. I know, a B+ for Jordan Davis after all the times I talked about him. But he is a very good, he's going to fit a need for them, as well as he can learn from, I can't remember their big guy's name in the middle who's been dominant for a long time. But he's a great bull rusher, and Jordan Davis can learn from him for a couple of years, maybe just this year and next year. They also trade up for Jordan Davis? Because the Eagles had pick 15. Yeah, so they trade up with Houston. So B+, honestly. I'm going to drop this down to I don't even remember what they gave up, but trading up for Jordan Davis, I'm dropping this down to a B-. I forgot that they had traded up. I like him as a player, dominant run stuffing, and absolutely incredible, truly generational athlete for his size. But for trading up for Jordan Davis at pick 13, I can't go higher than B-. Kyle Hamilton, no brainer. A+. I actually mocked this in one of my mock drafts, Kyle Hamilton falling to the Ravens at 14, and it's just scary. The versatility of that secondary and the things that they're going to do with Kyle Hamilton. I don't need to talk about this one that much. Ravens, unfortunately, the Chiefs. Lions overall had a pretty decent draft, but Ravens and Chiefs just obliterated this draft. It was not fun to watch. Pick 15, I gave this a C+. At least they traded back, which makes me think about moving it to a B-. They didn't take Kenyon Green at pick 13. They traded back, but Kenyon Green probably wouldn't have gone until the 20s. Pretty certainly he wouldn't have gone until the 20s. I mean, he did play some tackle, but I highly doubt that they're going to have him play tackle. Pick 15, he's a guard. He's a good player, but he didn't test well. I don't even think he's as sure of a prospect as Zion Johnson, which is sort of what saves the Chargers pick. But at least they traded back. Overall, with the trade back, I would probably go B- for this Houston pick. Pick 16, I'm going B. Jahan Dotson he's a good player. I'm not really sure I see the fit with Carson Wentz. They have Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, De'Ami Brown, now Jahan Dotson. There's a good bit of overlap with those skill sets, and Carson Wentz has always, Jahan Dotson does have a very big catch radius for his size, but Carson Wentz has just always favored those bigger body receivers, and that's the only time when he ever succeeded. And Jahan Dotson, I don't know if he would have gone until the mid-20s probably. He probably would have ended up going, but in my opinion, I don't think he should have gone until the mid to late 20s. So pick 16 was just a little bit rich for me. Pick 17, I give this a B+ for my Chargers fans. He's going to solidify the right guard position, the right side of the line. Only thing that saves this is hearing that the Chargers didn't want to throw or couldn't throw the ball down the field last year, not because they didn't have plays drawn up, they didn't have plays that they liked, and they didn't want to push it down the field. It was because they didn't have confidence in the right side of the line and being able to hold up to throw the ball down the field. That's primarily what is saving this pick. And he is a very surefire, very good starting guard from day one. So B+ for Zion Johnson. Pick 18, I give this a C+, mainly for the trade. I mean, overall, just not a great process in my opinion, trading A.J. Brown and then drafting Treylon Burks, who is no A.J. Brown. Do not compare Treylon Burks to A.J. Brown. Completely different levels of athletes. Treylon Burks, pretty productive, does have a unique skill set, should get a good bit of targets as well. So he's going to be good in fantasy, but trading A.J. Brown, getting Treylon Burks, and honestly, 18 was way too rich for Treylon Burks for me anyway. So C to C+ for me for Treylon Burks. Pick 19, I also gave this one a C+, C+, B- range, honestly, though. Trevor Penning is very toolsy for the Saints. The Saints do have a need. He's just not ready yet, and it seems like the Saints are kind of pushing for a this year type of thing to just try and make a playoff run, I guess. And I don't really think Trevor Penning is ready year one, but at least he's toolsy. At least they didn't trade up and get him in the top 15 picks, I guess. They waited a little bit to get him, but C plus B minus range for me. Kenny Pickett, A. Not because I love Kenny Pickett, but just the process. Kenny Pickett's not a bad prospect. He's just not necessarily a great first round prospect. But the Steelers sat at 20, knew the guy that they wanted, and didn't trade up. That is great process. They get the number one quarterback off the board at pick 20 without trading up. I mean, any quarterback pick I'm more likely to praise just because it's taking a shot with a lot of reward and medium amount of risk. But really just the idea that, like, the one time I'm okay and advocate for trading up in the first round is for quarterbacks, and the Steelers were able to sit at pick 20 and still get their guy. So that's going to get an A out of me. And then pick 21, Trent McDuffie. Not going to talk about this one too much. Chiefs get Trent McDuffie at pick 21. I gave this one an A+. Trent McDuffie is an incredibly good corner. Rumors of him filling the Tyrann Mathieu role in that defense. I think he could do it. He can also just play outside corner for them. Huge need. Very versatile. Very good. Very smart player. Getting him at 21, and they didn't have to give up that much at all to trade up. A+ for me. 22, I give this pick a C. Mainly, I guess he was favored to go in the first round. Quay Walker. Very athletic. Very toolsy. But linebacker in the first round, for one. Linebacker in the first round when the Packers have one of the worst receiving rooms in the NFL, and Aaron Rodgers, and ready to compete right now. So low value position. Also could have drafted Devin Lloyd, who I like more than Quay Walker. It's just, there's a lot of things that make this a C, but watching Mike Renner's just reaction to this pick was pretty funny as well on PFF, the live show. Pick 23, gave this one an A. I don't remember all that they had to give up. I looked at it before. I don't think it was that much at all because they only trade up like 2 picks or something. But Kyer Elam, and Tre'Davious White. Buffalo also stacking corners. Buffalo's going to be scary this year. I'm excited for the week 1 matchup, Rams versus Bills. That should be a very, very good game on Thursday Night Football, NFL kickoff. But A for me. Kyer Elam, I love him, especially in this defense. Tyler Smith at pick 24. I give this an A-. Possibly should have given it a B+. Cowboys trying to keep a strength with their O-line. I like that. Their plan is for him to start at guard, I'm pretty sure, which, is what should happen. But very toolsy, very aggressive, very good run blocker. Going to be a pretty good guard from day one. And should be a tackle sooner rather than later. Cowboys' approach to just building the O-line is pretty smart overall. I think what's keeping this from being higher is, I think, Tyler Smith. I guess this is where he was projected to go. For a lot of these guys, I think that, or I wouldn't have taken them until a little bit later, which is bringing the grade down for me. Pick 25, Tyler Linderbaum, A+ for the Ravens. It's a need. They got one of the most surefire, if not the most surefire prospect in the draft at pick 25. Phenomenal center. One of the best college football centers in recent memory. Kept trading down. Got him at pick 25. Incredibly smart, incredibly athletic. I mean, it's a Ravens pick, A+. Jermaine Johnson, pick 26. I gave this a B. I love taking Jermaine Johnson at pick 26. That's for sure. I did not think he was a top 10 player, but I do think that he was a first rounder. So this is a round where I would take him, but they did have to trade up for him. Once again, I don't remember exactly what they had to give up for him, but I mean, you're able to get Sauce and Wilson. I mean, just take your wins and let guys fall to you. Jermaine Johnson probably wouldn't have been there, but the difference between him and Boye Mafe, I don't think, are huge. Obviously, if you directly compare the two, yes, they have differences, but in terms of overall skill, ability, I don't think there's a huge difference. So just the trade up, I'm not a huge fan of, which is why I would give this one a B. Sort of the same thing here, pick 27. I give this one a C+, though, mainly because they're trading up for a linebacker instead of an edge. Devin Lloyd, he was LB1 for me, and as for most people. But, I mean, just trading back into the first round, Jags, you guys got to realize where you are as a franchise. Devin Lloyd should be, I guess, the center of this defense pretty soon. But it's just a trade up for a linebacker in the first round. Not a huge fan of low position of value, and Jags just need to recognize where they are as a roster, in my opinion. Pick 28, Devante Wyatt. I give this one a B+. Position of need. Packers should have a pretty good defense. Not even pretty good. Packers should have a really good defense this year, especially with Devondre Campbell and Quay Walker and Devante Wyatt helping to replenish, and Rashawn Gary possibly taking that next step. I mean, and Jair. Packers should have a very, very good defense, and they did sort of address the wide receiver position, but I would have gone elsewhere personally, but still a B+ for me. Good pick, great player. Also some character issues, but no need to talk about those. 29, don't need to talk about this one much either. F for me. Cole Strange, dog, 100%. You guys get traded out of this pick and still gotten Cole Strange. Nobody else is going to take him in the first round. Like, Sean McVay said that they're scouting him possibly if he was going to be there at pick 104. Could have traded back. Low position of value on top of that. So F for me. But it's Bill Belichick, so who knows. George Karlaftis, A+. He should have gone in the top 10. He was my edge. Edge 3 after Thibodeau and Hutchinson. Got him at pick 30. A+. Chiefs destroyed this draft, continuing into the following days as well. Pick 31, I give this one an A-. I think that the Bengals did truly go, in their opinion, best player available. Daxton Hill could possibly play outside corner, but just adds a lot of versatility to this Bengals defense after they overhauled the offensive line. Already have one of the best wide receiving rooms in the NFL. Yeah, A-. Honestly, very good pick from the Bengals, just adding versatility and depth to the secondary. And then B for me for Lewis Cine. Good player. Not going to harp on it. Good player, kind of a position of need. I just don't really know where the Vikings are going as a franchise, like what they're trying to do. They just re-signed Kirk Cousins. I'm just not sure what direction they're trying to go. But it's a B for me, dog. that's going to do it for the first round. Very excited. Schedule comes out in 30 minutes for me. And it's also my birthday tomorrow. Kendrick album also dropping tomorrow. I also get married in 2 weeks from tomorrow, so a lot of stuff happening. I should be able to make a couple more videos before I leave, though. And then once we move into the new house, gonna have a great setup. Already got a monitor. I'm starting some training for PFF. Just video quality is going to get increased. Video frequency should also get increased. I should have a lot more time now that I'm not in school. Yes, I will be working, have to start a big boy job, but should be able to make more videos for you guys. But if you guys haven't already, subscribe, like the video. This video probably not going to do that great. It's not a Chargers specific video, so probably only has a couple hundred views. Let's say the goal is 30 likes. Let's go for 30 likes. That's pretty doable. Some of my videos have almost 100, I think, so we're not going for that, but we'll aim for 30 likes on this one. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video.